Good news, everyone. Mr. Page here with another final boss. We're in a best of three constructed event with Temur Elementals. Really good new deck came out of M20 thanks to a card called Risen Reef. So here's Risen Reef, and this card's nuts. It really reminds me of playing Enchantress decks years ago, where you just get so much card advantage just by playing your cards. So what he does is whenever you play himself or any other elemental, you either draw a card, or if it's land, you can put it right into play. It's worded pretty clunky, but that's what it does. So he's immediate card advantage plus ramp if it happens to be lands that you're drawing. We're going to pair him with Leafkin Druid here, one elemental. Omnath, another elemental. Also a big payoff for running elementals. This guy's basically just a Flame Tongue Kavu with more. He also has, when you play a land, you get to grow one of your elementals. And if you happen to have 8 or more lands, you draw a card. So that's pretty nuts. Our next elemental is a 5 set of Cavalier of Thorns. This guy's just big. 5 mana, 5/6 is overrated stats. You don't normally just play stats, and this is no exception. This guy's got look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put a land into play. So he's ramp. Not that you really want to be ramping with your 5 mana cards, but it's still card advantage. And then when he dies, you get to bring back a card from your graveyard and put it on top of your deck. And with so much goodness in our deck, that's a really good ability. We're also attacking from the separate angle of Planeswalkers. We have a set of Chandra, Nissa, and Tamio. Interestingly, Nissa actually makes elementals. Helps with our synergy. Now, we do generate a ton of mana with all this ramp, so we're running 3 Hydroid Crisis and a Mass Manipulation. 2 cards that we can quite easily cast. It's not too hard to throw 8 or 10 mana into these and just dominate the game. And then we round it off with some ramp and good old Llanowar Elves and Incubation Druid. These aren't elementals. They just plain old, good old ramp. And then we've got 2 Lava Coils, just to slow our opponents down. Mana base, to be honest, I copied this deck, and I'm just trusting that whoever built it knew what they were doing. I got it watching the Star City Games coverage, and I just copied it right off their Twitch stream. And it's doing pretty good, obviously. The first time I ever played it was jumping straight into this event, and I'm at 4-0, so it's a powerful deck. Sideboard, we'll take a quick peek here. Veil of Summer, amazing card from M20. I mean, stopping a counter spell or a removal spell and drawing a card is just nuts. Only works against blue and black, but that's the price you pay for having a crazy 1-mana card. Aether Gust, another color hoser. This one attacks red and green. Puts it back on top of their deck most of the time, unless they don't want it again. But it's still really good tempo swing to hit your opponent's Llanowar Elves or whatnot with it. Cerulean Drake, ridiculous against mono red, but also good against like Izzet and Gruul, just blocking their big red flyers or whatever. Turns out to be really strong. We've got some negates to help fight against control decks. A Fry. This card's surprisingly good. It can kill the 4/5. Hopefully I'll remember to edit all this dirtling out. God Eternal Kefnet. So this guy you can fry really well. And fry is can't be countered, and 5 damage to a blue or white creature or planeswalker. So super good at Zorking this guy. Also just good at killing all of the blue planeswalkers, basically. We got Lava Coils. It's just probably the best red removal you can bring in against creature decks. We get another Chandra to fight the control decks. You just play her and plus her. she could just have the plus and she'd be pretty good. And we've got a Melody to hit the normal strong cheap cards like opponents' Crasises or whatnot. Super good deck. But enough jimma jamming. I'm loving playing it. And I mean, Risen Reef, if you've been on the ladder yet, since M20 came out, you're seeing this guy everywhere. Everyone's trying to figure out the best way to play with him. And I think this deck's pretty good. Some people are going a lot more all in on him. You can use tutors and stuff to try to get him out. But I think just running a bunch of solid cards and then attacking from a different angle with the Planeswalkers seems to work out really good. So let's see if I can defeat this final boss for you guys. Alright, here we go. My opponent kept his hand, they're going first. So we don't have red mana, which is awkward, but we do have turn 3 Tamiyo. Turn 2 Mana Accelerator, and then Tamiyo. So let's go ahead and keep it. Hopefully we find red mana before things appear we actually have to kill. Opponent takes the Lava Coil, so he's probably not playing control. Lessens our need to find the red mana. A Rakdos deck. I haven't faced one of these yet, this format. Using Blood for Bones. This card's really good. Let's see what our opponent has managed to put together with it. There's a red. Do we just nuke this guy? It doesn't do anything now that it's out, so I think I'm just gonna ramp. That might be wrong. Like, he might be spectacling with other cards and we should have just killed that, but I guess we can block. It opens up more burn spells to kill our druid, but oh, he's coming back for a Tamiyo. That sucks. And for a Lava Coil. I guess we could have played around the 3 of a kind Duress. I fired off the Lava Coil there. Can't quite play the 5-drop yet, so at least we've got a really good play. Ooh, there's a big new boy. Pretty good when your hand's empty. Our guy's almost big enough. The new Scryland's really good with this guy too. Scry away a Scryland. Ooh, we lost a Blood for Bones. So we'll just take this. I might double block this guy with Elf and Cavalier. Yeah, I think that's going to be the play here. I don't particularly want to race this guy. So we'll trade off. The Cavalier will put some good stuff back on top of our deck. Trading 6 mana for his 3 mana guy's kind of lame, but do we want the Krasis? Would be, let's see, 4, 5, 6. That's a pretty good Krasis. We could also do a Tamiyo with 4 more mana, so we could go Tamiyo and then pick up like a Lava Coil. I think the Krasis is going to be better. Get on top of the deck. And we'll just recount it 4, 5, 6, and 2, so x equals 6. It's nice when Krasis draws Krasis, isn't it? This takes me back to playing my Gates deck when I first started playing Magic Arena. Krasis was the first mythic I crafted. Made a set of 4 of them for the Gates deck, and I did not regret it. So, interesting decision here. We can either go with the Krasis again for 6, or we can just go these 2, shock ourselves, and activate this guy, and then have Even more ridiculous crisis next turn. Yeah, we'll trade this crisis with the Rotter he top decked. I don't know what my opponent's up to, so it's not safe to take that damage. Okay, so we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. X equals 12. This deck's a little bit ridiculous. Good game indeed. Oh, I love a giant crisis. Big dragon. So, our opponent's probably going for a pretty good reanimator strategy here. So the Blood for Bones, he's trying to reanimate this 7-drop. It's a pretty nice looking 7-drop. I think I'll take it. Yeah, that'll do, Pig. That'll do. Okay. Veil of Summer might be nice, but our opponent did seem to be focusing on his own game plan. So he might not have a whole lot of black removal. Does this stop Duress? You and permanent control gain hexproof. So this does counter Duress. That's pretty handy. Not so much when our opponent's going first, though. So we could bring them in for game 3 if we lose this one. Melody seems really good. 5 mana to take his 7/6. We have to start discarding cards, but that's fine. Drakes are good, slowing him down. Gust seems good against Reanimator. We'll take out a little bit of our top end. Sideboarding's hard with a new deck. Tomio's really good against discard. Let's cut Incubation Druid. I think he's the worst of the mana guys. Do we want the negates actually? Counter his turn 4 Reanimator. Whatever that's called, Cast the Bones or whatever. Maybe we don't want Drakes. Oops. Did it run out of time? Guess we're not sideboarding at all. Seems like a good hand. Any hand that can cast a Risen Reef is probably a good hand. Let's get our blue. Oh, he had a big boy to discard this time. Our opponent's deck's actually doing its thing. slow him down a little bit. Oh, he's mana screwed. That sucks for him. Let's get some reef action happening. Note that you never want to pay 2 life. It comes into play tapped from this guy's effect anyway. The game's nice to give you the option, in case you want to take 2 damage for nothing. Technically illegal action. Opponent's drawing a lot of cards and having trouble finding that land. There's a Bonder Revival, the other way to reanimate. This one gives haste. Definitely not blocking. So, okay, we can go Crisis for 2, that seems bad. We can go Tameo and dig for something. We probably don't want to Tameo and get the Lava Coil. Or we can just drop Leafkin. Let's see what's on top of our deck. I kind of like Leafkin. I believe that possibly sets up a mass manipulation. If it hits a blue mana. Yeah, let's go Leafkin. It did hit a blue mana. Let's leave him. And if our opponent reanimates, we can steal it. He can't bond, but he could do a 4 mana one. Which is much better for us because it won't have haste. Looks like that's what he's doing. This is highlighted because he was mousing over it. Blood for bones. And we get to take a Ilharg. X equals 1. Yoink. And now Ilharg gets to put out either a Omnath or a Cavalier. Or not. I will decline to put him into our opponent's library. Although, that might have been a mistake. We left it as a reanimate target. So we could have put it 3 down, and we would have been able to deal with it by then. Our hand's pretty nuts. So I believe that may have been an error. So let's see, I can go Cavalier and Leafkin. Seems like a good idea. This one comes into play untapped. Another Cavalier. Can't quite afford it though. Keep my blue mana up. Don't know if that's relevant, having the blue-red, but turned out not to be. I guess I wouldn't have been able to cast a Lava Coil or anything like that anyway. What's this guy do? Creature back into his hand. So how big of a crisis can we drop now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus the 2. So X equals 9. That does mean we have 11 mana, so we could do like 5 and 4. Still having 3 left, so like that guy finds us a land and then we can Tameo. Can I get 6 elementals to Zork him? Yeah, these are all elementals, so that's actually pretty easy. Ooh, okay, so we're doing that instead of the Tamio. This is pretty nuts. Just checking colored mana if I want to force those Leaf Kindreds to tap. Not yet, but I might to cast the Cavalier. Do I want to leave that? Cavalier will get it? Nah. Cavalier gets to look at 5 cards anyways. I guess we'll Omnath and then Cavalier. Oh, did I miscount? I did miscount. Oh yeah, these guys are 2 mana each. Derp. Yeah, he left it in the graveyard too. I did miscount. Unfortunate.
I would like to test a new hypothesis with you.
Just go grab that Mass Manipulation. Seems like a pretty ridiculous card to have.
I have learned much from my ancestors.
Rawr. This deck is ridiculous. That didn't seem close at all, even though our opponent was trying to do ridiculous things of his own. My collection's growing good enough to actually start getting gems for my rare card rewards. That actually might hurt the EV for these tournaments a lot. Because 20 gems I don't think is worth a ton. But anyways, we won. So we shouldn't complain too much. My name's Mr. Page. I hope you guys enjoyed this strategy page on Temur Elementals. The sickest deck I've played so far this format. I hope you guys give it a try soon. If you enjoyed this video, give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It helps a ton, and it'll help you find more videos like this. So it's a win-win situation. Thanks. See you next time.